Right then, here we are in the Alondras Villas with Neil and Becky, and they're going to tell us, well, firstly, all about their holiday, but this is a little bit of a different terrace talk. Well, firstly, it's inside because the aircon's on, and secondly, it's going to be all about sort of travelling with disabilities and autism, because loads of you get in touch with me and ask me all these questions, and I don't really know, to be honest. Well, Neil and Becky are here on holiday, and they can kill two birds with one stone and tell you everything because they've got quite an interesting story. So guys, thank you so much for inviting me down today. And I know Becky got in touch on TikTok, yes, didn't you? And said, look, we're travelling to Lanzarote, and you wouldn't believe the amount of work that goes into booking, because we've got disabilities, plus we've got members of the family with autism as well. So do you want to tell us a little bit about you and what you're about, and then we can talk about travelling and how you manage it?
So I joined the army at 16.
Yeah.
I spent 21 years in the British Army.
Wow.
Travelled, and it's quite cheesy in a way, but I did travel the world.
Yeah.
Went to some nice places, went to some bad places. Obviously Northern Ireland twice, Iraq,
yeah,
and Afghanistan. Unfortunately, the actions of Afghanistan didn't really agree with my brain.
Yeah.
I got injured out there as well.
Wow.
So unfortunately, come 2017, I was medically discharged for mental health issues. And basically, they call it unserviceable and unusable in the army. I was basically no use to them. So
you're too much of a risk.
I was too much of a risk, so I was medically discharged. Not a problem.
Okay.
With that. However, things escalated. About a year later, so I was diagnosed with an illness called FND, which is functional neurological disorder.
Okay.
Best way to describe it is the brain just wants to shut down. A blue screen on the laptop.
Yeah, yeah.
And
kind of misfires.
Yeah, and for me, I have a very dramatic seizure effect.
Okay.
It looks like a tonic-clonic seizure.
Yeah.
Like an epileptic seizure.
Yeah.
But there's no activity going on in his brain.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you have to be careful where you go and what you do and stuff in that case.
I'm not recluse, but we are well practiced and well drilled on what you want to call it, and what to do, where to do it. We know our boundaries. Yeah. And stuff like that. So
we try not to stop things affecting what we do and where we go. We know what we need to do if Neil does have a seizure. Our children know what to do. Yeah. We just need to be left to deal with it.
I'm still active. I work part time back home. I help coach a rugby club. Yeah. So I'm still active in that kind of stuff. Everybody knows what. It does happen. I've had seizures at the rugby club. Yeah. People have gone, oh my God, he's having a heart attack. Yeah. Go, no, he's fine. He's just looking for sympathy and just wants attention. That's just the black humour as such. But sometimes but the people just get on with it. The staff then know what to do. They know to bring Becky, not an ambulance. So,
but I suppose that's okay, knowing at the rugby club and at home and surrounded by people. But the travelling. So when you come away, how does that? So what do you have to prepare and what do you have to know about? Firstly, with getting here. And also sort of choosing an accommodation, because you're in a big old villa here, aren't you? And I know you said before that you stopped at another villas called the Comezzi.
Yes.
So do you choose sort of villa holidays rather than hotels?
We choose holidays based on stairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if Neil has had a seizure, he'll use a wheelchair.
Okay.
We choose it on how many are in the complex, because if it's really, really busy, we don't want to be going down for breakfast with hundreds of
loads of people in there.
Because that is a trigger for both Neil and Rosie.
Okay.
So it has to be quite.
So Rosie is your daughter, and she's got autism as well.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have a little chat about that as well, because
afterwards.
Yeah.
So when we came over the first time, we stayed in Comezzi, and that was lovely. Couldn't fault it at all.
Yeah.
It had everything we needed.
Yeah.
But we found we were quite kind of isolated in a way.
Yeah, it's quite far out, isn't it?
It's quite far out, and I couldn't.
You're not confident driving over here yet, are
Yeah,
we?
I'm not confident enough. But also, if Neil did have a seizure in Playa Blanca, I'd have to push him all the way back, and it's on me to do that.
Yeah.
It's a bit of checking it from Playa Blanca to Faro Park.
Yeah, it was a bit of a trek. So I kind of went, no, it's fine. Obviously, there is taxis, and you know, it was very useful. We did go out a couple of times. But then we will research a place. I say we, Neil will research a place, and we have a map, and we'll zoom into every single hotel, villa, see what it's like. We put crosses and old school with a pen. No, maybe, yes. And then we go back and we've got a really, really lovely lady called Sandra. I don't know how far I can go in with.
You go with whatever you want.
So she's called Sandra. She's lovely. She works her own business called Aurora Adventures.
Okay.
She does everything for us.
Oh, so she's quite good for well, there you go.
Fantastic.
I'll give her a plug. Look.
Yeah.
I'll put the link below.
Yeah. She knows us really well. We went into detail what we need, what we don't want, and she came back with a few places, and we kind of went, oh, okay. But it is all about location.
Yeah.
Wheelchair, whether we can walk it. Rosie also has hypermobility, so she struggles with her joints, so she can't walk too far.
Okay.
And we just sit in an evening, don't we? And
it
goes through everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
But villa holidays are better than hotels
for us.
For you guys, 100%.
It's just that all it takes is, it sounds so silly, but that one person saying excuse me, or startling me.
Yeah.
It's that simple thing, and that's it. Bang. I'll give you on the floor.
Yeah.
I could be on the floor and I see you.
And especially in hotels when people are on the sort of, especially like, even if you go to sort of the 4 or 5 stars hotels, you still get your Brits abroad, don't you? That could be like
absolutely
getting too drunk and over the top and leery and stuff like that.
And then if Rosie really doesn't like people that are drunk, it scares her because she can't read them properly.
Of course.
So if she gets scared, she'll run.
Okay.
She'll scream sometimes. Screaming can trigger Neil.
Of course.
Then I've got 2 to deal with.
So you got your hands full?
So I've got my hands full.
Wow.
Yeah, so we avoid any rowdy places.
Yeah.
You know, the nice quiet villas, bungalows.
Yeah.
With our own pool, because if Neil is poorly or Rosie can't leave the villa, we've still got the pool, we've still got somewhere to go. Yeah.
So what about going out and about? I mean, do you go out and about for like meals and stuff like that, or does it really depend on? Do you research restaurants?
So the first time I came to Lanzarote, we said at Comesi, we didn't eat out then. No. COVID was just breaking off a little bit, we ate there. A couple of times. We had food delivered and stuff, and
they were really good because they understood. They actually sent food to the villa for us.
Yeah. So that was great. And then early this year we went to Bacanya. We were all inclusive. We explained to them the situation, and they were really great. They kept the same table for us because Rosie's autism, my OCD. It all just.
We had the same table for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
So, and it helps. And then we bumped into a couple of other English people there, and they were just intrigued, like, why are you like this? You know, all doing all this stuff. You know, then we explained.
Neil aside, Rosie.
Yep.
She's diagnosed with autism, no?
She is.
So this is the big question for me, and this is sort of the more, because I'm very, I would say, ignorant to it. I don't know about it, and for me, when people sort of message and they'll say, my child's autistic, or I have somebody in my group that's autistic, there's so many different sort of spectrums and stuff. So tell me about that first, and then we can sort of look at the different things that possibly people here in Lanzarote could do to sort of benefit. Because I get a lot of people that will say, oh, I want to do the catamaran. Is it suitable for somebody with autism? And I don't know how to reply to that and say, well, what do you mean? It's not sort of. I feel rude saying, well, what's the problem? What?
So I think
do you see what I mean?
Yeah, so in that scenario, I would be looking for how busy is it going to be on a catamaran? How many people are going to be on there? How long are you out for? Exactly what they're going to be doing. Because the autistic person needs that advance notice and that structure.
Okay.
If I said to Rosie, we're going to go on a catamaran, she would probably say, how many people are going to be on there? Is there going to be steps onto the catamaran? How do we get on there? Is it going to be, if you say might see dolphins, you can't say we will see dolphins, because then she will expect to see dolphins, and if we don't see dolphins, it's an autistic meltdown, they call it. So she has it then in her head that this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get to the catamaran. There's going to be 5 steps on. I got the 5 steps. I'll sit here. I put a life jacket on.
Wow.
This isn't for everybody. This is for Rosie. Then we'll go out for an hour, see the dolphins, come back. Because once she's done it, that's it. It's finished. She wants to come straight back.
So she's very literal in that kind of respect.
Wow. Okay.
It's for us. We would go, oh yeah, we're going out on a boat. but for the autistic
But then what about, so that's Rosie's situation, but then what about autism as, because it's, for me it's so broad.
Yeah.
So
it really is.
That's why I struggle with sort of asking that question. So how would I ask that question? If you sent me a message on chat and said, listen, I've got somebody in my party that's autistic, how do I ask that question? Do I say,
what level? What level of autism? Okay.
No, that's where I struggle, because I feel rude saying, well, and it's the same with disabilities as well. I mean, unless I saw you sat in a wheelchair, I wouldn't know that you had a disability. And you know, I can see the wheelchair in the corner, but unless you know, we met. You've shown me around the villa. If I didn't know, and you said, well, I've got a disability, I'd be like,
and it's
really?
It's very so.
Same with autism as well. Some people don't look autistic.
And that's, I mean, the sunflower lanyard.
I've seen them.
Is great on in airports and on the transport system.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to. I'm not looking for sympathy or anything like that. I don't want to advertise. Look at me. I've got an unseen diagnosis. I've got this injury. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to live my life normally.
Of course.
However, there will be a time when I go, I am struggling. I need help.
Yeah.
And it's just. It's gauging that kind of situation.
For you, is the level. I don't think any parent out there or anybody that looks after somebody with autism would be offended by you saying what level of autism.
But that's a good. But now I know it's the. This is what I can say. What level?
And what questions do they have? What would they like to know?
Yeah.
What would make it easier for you?
Yeah.
And then they can come to you with questions like I did here. If we're going anywhere, I ask a million questions. I'm really sorry, but I need to ask you, how many bedrooms are there?
Well, it's good. It's good for people. I mean, you showed me the lanyard here. Yeah. That wouldn't exist in Lanzarote. I don't think anybody in Lanzarote would know of that.
And it's not to put people off coming to Lanzarote. However, the what do they call it? I forgot what it's called now. You have it at Bristol.
Special
assistants.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain just went. Special assistants here. It does exist, but it doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
Well, it's not the same level.
Yeah.
I think personally, it's a culture thing. Well, first of all, it's a small island.
Yeah.
So they're not used to seeing this sort of thing on scale or in mass, and it is a culture thing. They just don't sort of understand it, know about it, or even sort of
acknowledge it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very much a. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like.
It's not as open
as
in the UK. I mean, we've said to people here that Rosie has autism, and they kind of look at me a little bit.
But they will.
So you've got a verbal, non-verbal. So Rosie.
That would be another question for you to ask.
Rosie's verbal, but you might get somebody who's autism, who's non-verbal, and just unfortunately may just go or grunt or nothing at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean Rosie's verbal, but if she is overwhelmed or she's nervous, she doesn't talk.
But again, in that respect, if I met somebody that was non-verbal, I could immediately see that not there was something wrong, but I would immediately say, oh well.
There's a disability.
There's a disability.
You kind of sometimes people think that, especially you do it as well.
Yeah.
If you're overwhelmed or nervous, you'll shut down, and both of them use their phones as a place to shut out the world not ignore, but also ignore, because you don't want to interact. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. So people think they're being rude and ignorant, and you go, "Oh, fine, I won't bother then."
Yeah.
And I think that's a tricky one as well, because it's not actually you being rude, it's just you can't communicate at that time.
Honestly, it's really interesting. It is really interesting. More for the fact that I think in some cases, like I said, you can definitely see there is a disability or something, but it's these invisible disabilities that people talk about, and people just sort of look, and I'm guilty of it. I'm like, what? What? But it's nice to sort of speak to people that know it, and it helps me as a sort of person doing videos and stuff like that. For example, if I'm going on an excursion, I can sort of drip feed these sort of things into the videos. I do try, like with disabilities, like I'll go around the hotels and I'll say, oh look, there's loads of ramps, so if you're in a wheel, and that's the only thing I know, if there's loads of ramps, if you're in a wheelchair, you're all right. But now maybe I can look at that.
My mental health and my seizures, and from Rosie as well, is sometimes hotels test alarms. Like the fire alarm, they do a fire alarm test.
Yeah, of course,
That for me...
Which is crucial for the hotel, but also...
Yeah, if they have to test it alarm, I get it, no problem. I understand that.
But yeah,
if we had prior warning, you know, it's because there is people out there, you know, especially, you know, veterans who do have, you know, mental health problems.
Yeah.
Like PTSD, and they hear an alarm, because for me an alarm is a really bad thing. I can go down to like a sack of potatoes and I'll be seizuring like mad. And Rosie won't like it either because it's the unexpected high-pitched noise for her.
Of course.
So knowing when alarms goes off, fire alarms is a big one.
But it's little things like that that I wouldn't even think about, you know. If it went off, most people would just go, oh, fire alarm.
Yeah.
In fact, if it was a real fire alarm, most people would move.
Yeah, and the floor goes, it warm you.
They'd still be sat there going, oh, is it real, is it not?
If we were out having a meal, even in this restaurant, and an alarm went off, Molly, our 15-year-old, and I would both look at each other, look at Neil, look at Rosie, see which one's going to go down first.
Whoa.
And it's... Sometimes Neil doesn't... The airport, for example, the first time we came here, when the baggage comes through...
Oh, yeah, the baggage alarm.
Oh, that's an alarm, isn't it?
And that was unexpected. Rosie straight away, fingers in her ears. Yeah. She was actually sat in Neil's wheelchair because it's easier for her to have her own space.
Yeah.
So she would just sit in the wheelchair and hide. She had fingers in her ears.
Hood over her head. You're very much like a self-defense dome for her.
Yeah.
And you had your headphones on. But now we know it's going to happen, we can prepare for it, so we know.
So regarding airports, because I know when you sent me a message, you said we have to fly from Bristol Airport.
Yes.
So
that's an autistic thing.
Why Bristol Airport?
Because it's small.
Okay.
And so where we live in North Devon. So we've got a choice of Exeter, which is an hour down the road. Yeah. We've got Bristol, an hour and a half up the road.
Okay.
So either or. But because of Rosie now.
Anything bigger than Bristol would be too much. There's too many terminals, too much to try and figure out, too many people. So Bristol, because we've only flown from Bristol, now that's the only place that Rosie will feel comfortable flying from.
Yeah, because so it is more about sort of knowing exactly what's going to be happening. Yes. So when I am getting questions like how many steps is it to get on the bus, and I'm like, who's this crazy person asking me how many steps?
It's because... Yeah, it's so that they know what to expect.
They're planning for the worst case scenario.
A lot of people say, is it suitable? So again, now I sort of have a better understanding. But I would say, well, no, that would be my answer. No, it's not suitable. Yeah. But
depends what level of autism, whereabouts on the spectrum, and everybody is different.
Okay.
Rosie horse rides. She does show jumping, dressage, she does competitions.
Yeah.
That's her safe space.
Okay.
But she could be there with 100 people and be fine because it's her and the horse.
But you wouldn't go to a water park?
But I wouldn't go to the water park. Absolutely not. Because there's too many screams, too much noise.
Even the sensation of water on Rosie. She does shower, but she doesn't like it.
It feels like pins.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
So these showers here are really nice because they're rainfall ones, so they're nice.
I spoke to somebody else that said that their child had autism and it was the touch and the texture. That's another thing. Yeah. Somebody else said this, touch and texture. Yeah. And there's just so many things and there's so many of these spectrums and levels that from my point of view, I ain't got a bloody clue. I'm like, well, why?
Until you know... I mean, with Rosie, she was diagnosed in 2020, but we kind of knew for a very, very long time. But that's a whole different video of navigating the UK system of getting a diagnosis. That took nearly 3 years to get a diagnosis, but I won't go into that.
Really?
Yeah. So for Rosie, she's unique, she's herself, and we know her and her autism. Yeah. You could be autistic and be completely different.
So it's a...
Yeah, so Rosie doesn't like certain scratchy clothes. I know a lot of autistic people don't like scratchy clothes. Yeah. So we have to be careful what we buy for her to wear. So the clothing, I mean, she's in the pool now with our daughter and her godparents. Yeah. She feels safe, she knows them, she's got clothes on that she feels comfortable with. Yeah. When she gets out, she doesn't like goosebumps, so she has to be warm when she gets out because goosebumps are painful for her. Wow. She'll use the same towel, she'll wear the same bikini or swimming costume because she knows that doesn't irritate her. Wow. There's so much to it that you don't, even sometimes we don't think about until she says something and we go, oh, of course, I'm really sorry. You know, cut the labels out of things. Wow.
Food as well.
Food, same texture food. It has to be predictable. It has to be exactly the same each time. So if we went for
that's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah, if like we checked out the menu here and we know that there's a children's menu, there's pizza. She knows what pizza is. Although it's different textures, she knows what pizza is.
Yeah.
The spaghetti carbonara I make at home, she knows exactly what's coming, but the sauce is separate, the spaghetti is separate. And she'll mix it if she wants to, or she'll eat it separately. Right. But she's been quite good, and if we go for a carbonara out, she knows that it'll be mixed together. Some people just like routine, some people need routine. And for Rosie, it's not a want, it's a need. For her to function, she needs these things in place.
Yeah. Do you think, and this is just me sort of being on the outside, do you think some people claim to be autistic, or they make, I'll tell you why, and it's not anything that's bad against autism or anything like that, but I get a lot of people that will say, I've got somebody autistic in my group, but they don't ask questions regarding, you know, I've got somebody autistic in my group, what is this and this. Their first question is, I have somebody autistic in my group, do you offer any discounts? And that's a big one for me.
This is a really hard one for me because
this is what, and it's good, but it's good to have an open conversation about this, because from my point of view, it's like, okay, so a discount. What would the discount be for?
So in the UK, you can claim something called disability living allowance.
Okay.
And in some places, attractions, they offer a discount for a carer.
Yeah.
So it's that person, the carer goes free.
Okay.
So that might be.
That's a lot of the questions I get. Yeah.
Yeah. But also one thing that really irritates me is that some people do use it.
This is
to their advantage.
So this is my question. Yeah. Are people, and you know, everyone's human and the world's full of idiots, are people using it for that sort of thing, and then it's affecting people like yourselves that really do have problems?
It makes it so much harder because we then have to battle for things.
Because I sometimes feel like that from an outsider that's obviously selling tours, excursions and things like that. I mean, for me, I sell them, so I don't own Rancho Texas or the water park, but I do get a lot of questions that come through. Okay, I've got someone in my group that's autistic. Do you offer carers discount? Yeah. Do you offer this? I mean, that's obviously, now you've told me, something in the UK.
It's in the UK, and
it doesn't exist here in Lanzarote. It never has done. And there's also not really, again, and it sounds bad, but there's no sort of disability discount either, unless it's a discount that can physically be seen. For example, if I was to call one of the suppliers, like, I don't know, a show or something like that, and said, look, I've got somebody that's in a wheelchair that doesn't speak, you know, of course they can go. But if I was to call one of the suppliers, especially here in Lanzarote, because like I said, they're not clued up on this, and I called and I said, listen, I've got this family coming, you guys, Neil suffers from this, Rosie suffers from this, can they have a discount? They'd be like, well, are they going to watch the show? Are they going to eat the food? And are they going to do this? And I'm, well, yes.
Yeah. Well, why should they have a discount?
They won't. Yeah. They won't acknowledge it. And in a way, I sort of agree with it. And it's good to have an open conversation with guys like yourself.
I wouldn't book anything for you or Rosie that I don't think you would be there for the whole event and you'd be eating their food.
I don't think you'd be going there. This is also my sort of concern with it, that talking and you telling me all about the autism and saying that you don't like crowds, and if you get triggered by something, or you know, and Rosie doesn't like crowds, and then I get people that will want to go to sort of really crowded places like shows, like Rancho Texas, like this, and it sort of comes across as we want a discount. So not that we have a problem. It's we want a discount, and that for me is like I'm sort of.
Yeah, I mean, you could go back to them. Sorry, what?
No, so from my experience, obviously being in the military, we do go to foreign countries, and you know, we try and abide by their laws, their rules.
Of course, yeah.
And if I'm here in Lanzarote and I'm told, well, I can't drive, but still, you know, you drive on the right side of the road. I go, no. I want to drive on the left hand side of the road because I'm British.
That's a British thing, isn't it?
You can't. That's facts of life. That's the rules and that's the law.
It's the same with in the UK. There's blue light discount cards, which veterans can now get military discounts. Same with DLA, the disability living allowance, and the personal independence payments. You can get discounts for certain things, but some places don't. So if they offer it, then you would show proof that you get that and you have this card. And you know, but to be honest.
But I suppose in England, it like
it's
I said,
different country.
It's a different country. Here they don't really understand it, and would they? It's like I don't even know if you can use a blue badge UK disabled badge in your car here to park. I think
we've
you
left
can.
ours in the UK.
Yeah, I think you can though. I think if you had a disabled badge in your hire car,
but
I think
again, that would
be
be something if we have hired a car because we've got our friends with us. But if it was just us, I would be looking for a disabled space because if we go out and Neil has a seizure, I don't want to be walking miles with a wheelchair with a dysregulated Rosie and a 15-year-old that is just trying her best to help. But I would be contacting somebody and saying, what do I need to do? I've got a blue badge in the UK. How do I do that over in Lanzarote? Wow. I'd be asking.
So do you think that they should be doing sort of carers and like they do in the UK, where you get a carers discount, and should the attractions here in Lanzarote be offering that? From your point of view?
From our point of view, I wouldn't expect it personally.
No.
I wouldn't ask for it because I wouldn't use those facilities.
It's true.
But
it's true.
There are some people, and for experiences, I mean, people could say, well, why would you go on holiday? For the experience, but we put things in place to enable us to get here. I wouldn't.
But do you get discounts on sort of flights and stuff? So you wouldn't expect discounts on excursions here?
No.
Okay. I mean, for us, prime example for us is, so our routine to come on holiday is we travel from our house to Bristol Airport the day before. So we get to Bristol Airport, we'll stay somewhere local around Bristol Airport.
And that's
the day
purely
before.
Because Rosie struggles to leave the house.
To get Rosie settled close by, so she knows we're going to the airport, she knows that we're going to be close by, so we're prepping her. Same time as well, we have then done the twilight check-in.
Because it's quiet.
It's nice. Drop our bags in at night time. Get the wheelchair tagged. All done nice and quietly, just the four of us. Brilliant. Then the next morning, we're up early in the morning. Probably even earlier to get Rosie and myself prepped.
Rosie needs about 90 minutes to get prepped and ready to walk out that door.
4-minute job for me, easy. Shower done. Back. Typical man. But again, I need to get myself ready. Make sure my headphones are charged. I've got my lanyard ready because the lanyard does help so much in Bristol Airport. The teams there, they are really.
They know about it.
They know about it. They're really.
Well, they hand them out. If you've got special assistance booked, they will give you one if you don't have one.
Then we go either fast track or we get the
special assistants
take us through. They're great, and again, obviously, you know, if there's four of us, it's going to be tricky. So Becky's looking after Rosie or looking after me. Molly, our oldest, is looking after Rosie or looking after me. And then obviously some stuff are like come through and go, hold your horses, buddy, you know what I mean? I'm trying to process, even Rosie, we're processing everything. You know, the loud noises, the machine going through, people shouting orders. Not like, you know what I mean? It's everything's going through your mind. And obviously Rosie's still, you know, heads up like, oh my god, you know. Somebody has to search her then. And we're like, just give her a second, give us 5 seconds to say they have to search it down.
But I suppose if they see the lanyard, they do tend to.
They are much better.
They're trained, more trained.
They are much better.
Well, here they're not, and they wouldn't be. I wouldn't have thought so.
No, I mean, the last time we flew from Lanzarote, we had a really nice Jet 2 guy. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, you can tell everyone.
We had a really nice Jet 2 guy.
It's not real telly.
And then he...
Sponsored by Jet 2, we're not.
he obviously saw the lanyard, and we said we've got special assistance, but we also booked the lounges because it's quiet. And you're out the hustle and bustle and away from it all. So I said, can you just help me get through security? And slow it down if we can, because it is all like, get this out. We have everything prepped, all our bags are when I go to the airport to do the twilight check-in in Bristol, I'll get the plastic bags for the liquid. So we've got all of our bags ready. We just have to take them out and put them in the tray. And it's all ready to go. And it's the fast pace that they struggle with, because it's...
You get flustered.
Of course,
And then when you get flustered, you look suspicious. Even though we've got nothing, we're not doing anything wrong, we look suspicious because I'm going, are you all right? Are you okay?
Yeah, of
right,
course.
we just need to do this. I'll just deal with the kids, make sure Rosie's okay, get Rosie through. And Rosie always gets swabbed, but she expects it now. So if she doesn't get swabbed,
oh my God,
like, I haven't been swabbed, I need to go back.
Well, there was a time when our first holiday out here, obviously before that we were watching that Australian border force. And obviously, you know what it's like, people go through, looks mate, you've been pulled over for drugs. And then when we went through, she literally went, I haven't been stopped. And they're literally like, you, swabber. Really? And she was like, oh my God, and,
because, autism, you get fixated on things, and she watched Border Force because she knew we were going on holiday. So she watched it for about 6 months, and everything on Border Force is all bad, isn't it? Because that's what the TV programme is. So when we went through security, she went, Mum, we made it! And I just went, yeah, we did, love, but we haven't done anything wrong, so it's fine, and we're not on Border Force.
Wow.
But obviously,
the staff thing,
for somebody to listening in on that conversation would sound really bad.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
it is, honestly, it's so interesting to sort of get that. And I mean, for this video to sort of go out and stuff, there's going to be loads of people asking questions. So what I like to do, I mean, with all the videos, it's good that you can have sort of the conversation on YouTube, especially that people can ask questions and talk about it. So I think it's quite good to sort of have like a community, if you like, that people will see this video and other people that have got autism, and they can comment and comment, and other people can read their comments and create some kind of sort of discussion between people, especially with it being so broad as well. That, I mean, I've met quite a few people that have talked about autism. I mean, I am going to do more about it. But Lanzarote as a whole, you've been here a few times.
This is one of the best places that we've been.
Yeah.
Okay.
As
in the island.
As in the island.
Okay.
Because it depends where you go as well, where you stay. But the places that we've stayed have been very accommodating, accepting.
Okay, well that's good to know.
I think because we carry the wheelchair with us, they see the wheelchair and go, clocked that.
Yeah.
And not necessarily the hidden disability part. But then we're quite open, and we do say, look, Neil has seizures. Is there a chance that we can sit by the door so it's easy access for me to get out in case I need to? Rosie has autism, and I think I did show autism on Google Translate to somebody, and I was just kind of like...
I wonder what it is in Spanish. I'll have to Google Translate that myself as well.
And they kind of went, oh, okay.
And what about the Lanzarote airport on the way back? Because obviously you fly in from Bristol because it's quite... The Lanzarote airport's busy.
It is busy, so we've got special assistance for
Okay, so
both
what
of
does
them.
that get you?
So we go to the special assistance part and say, hello, we've arrived, we're flying on this flight. Somebody will escort us through the check-in. We kind of go down a different aisle to everybody else, so we go through a little bit quicker. There's usually about 10, 20 other people with special assistance. We'll go through the check-in, then they leave you, and it's like, okay, make sure you're at the whatever gate, look at the signs. So we go to the lounge and sit
there's
in
a
there.
There's a lounge in there.
It's very small, but it's quiet.
Okay.
And that's all we want. We don't want the hustle and
do you have to
bustle.
book and pay for that?
You can book it online. I'm not sure how, but we just rock up on the day and go, can we come in? And you do pay for it. I think it was...
Bristol side, we pre-book. But Lanzarote side, you can pre-book using their app.
I know you can book the lounge, but that's not anything to do with special assistance. You can book the lounge.
No, that's not anything to do with special assistance.
But is it the same lounge?
No. Okay. So special assistance, they get you through check-in, and then you're left to your own devices. I don't know if there is a special area where you can sit.
I know there's a VIP lounge in the airport of Lanzarote.
And that's where we go. We pay that ourselves.
So you book that?
We book that ourselves.
That's not special assistance.
I get it. So the special, they don't take you through to special assistance. So special assistance basically gets you through the line to the other side.
To the other side.
And then from there, you've already booked and paid for the lounge.
We've done it.
And is the lounge any good? I've never been in.
It's all right.
It's small, don't get me wrong, but it does what it does. It's very quiet. People there just to,
we go there for the peace. rather than the food and the drinks.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but would you not, like, obviously booking lounges, I mean, I would look from an outsider's point of view, that people would book that to have a few beers and get drunk. Do you not get that in the lounges? Or is it more...
No, it's... I mean, you can eat and drink as much as you like, but
that's what I thought.
It's not your Brits on tour.
You don't get
because
that.
people don't want to pay.
It's respectable, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, you know, the lounge experience is exclusive for, you know, the upper class, but it's not. Anybody can use it, but it's just a bit more respectable.
It's a bit more respectable.
And it's also kind of advertised as a quiet place.
Okay. That's
so
interesting.
part of Bristol, they've got 2 lounges in there now, but the escape lounge that we were in, half of it's a quiet zone. So it's indoor.
And they have them on the trains as well, don't they? Quiet drone.
Yeah.
But you still have to pay an upgrade for them, right?
But you have to pay extra for that, and people with disabilities have to pay extra to get what they need.
So that's annoying. That's again, when we were discussing sort of discounts and stuff like that, that annoys me that you have to pay extra for that.
Yeah, there's no area where we can just go and sit and be quiet.
Yeah.
But that we kind of factor that into the cost of our holiday. When we price things up, we go, right, it's going to cost such and such for this and the flight.
Yeah, of course.
And the lounge this side, parking, the lounge the other side.
Yeah.
So it's all filtered into our budget, which is what we do because we know that will enable us to have a holiday.
Yeah, perfect.
Otherwise, we probably wouldn't. But
we go to Cornwall and get
red
hand and fingers.
You've got a letter from the doctor that says that you can still fly if you have a seizure, because obviously if people don't know, they would think it's an epileptic seizure. He wouldn't be allowed to fly.
Of course. Yeah.
So I've got paperwork.
Oh my gosh.
That we, There's a lot more to it, a lot more planning.
Yeah.
And
again, that's Sandra as well. So
that's Sandra.
Our rep back home.
Yeah.
She does all the disability forms for us, as you know.
For Jet2.
For Jet2.
Yeah. Wow. Because we can only fly with Jet2 because that's who Rose has only flown with. So
really?
Flying on a different aeroplane would be different, and she probably wouldn't get on the plane.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
So Jet2, please don't go bust.
I don't think they're doing. I think they're doing. I think Jet2 are doing quite good, to be honest.
They're all right. But yeah, because it's familiar and she knows it.
Wow.
The first time we flew.
You could have started her off with Ryanair, couldn't you? And then it'd be cheaper. You'd have had cheaper flights. Do you know what I mean? You made schoolboy error there. You should have gone Ryanair first of all, and then it would have been, I'm only flying Ryanair. Great, save yourself a few quid.
Yeah, but I mean, Jet2, they're expensive, but they do have good.
Yeah, they're doing very well. They're doing very well.
And people say, why don't you just rent a self-catering villa from somebody that's got one here, which is brilliant. But then I had to do our own flights, and you don't get that protection.
Yeah, the package
deal.
Yeah. And then if something does go wrong.
Yeah, because if something goes wrong and we have to leave the villa, but we have got nowhere to go, or our flight's delayed, or we're stranded, that would just be, it's too much.
So if there was a delay, would that be a problem?
It can be, and we have been delayed coming out here, and we were kicked out of the lounge in Bristol because you only get 3 hours. So, but there is an actual dedicated area of special assistance. So we just went and sat there and we played top trumps or whatever it was. And she gets frustrated and she'll start pacing and she's like, how long is it going to be? How long is it going to be? They said that we were going to be leaving. So she's very literal. So you have to just take a step back and go, I know that we said we'd be leaving at this time, but the plane isn't here yet. It was snowing when we came over. So it hasn't been able to leave, and it's not safe for them to leave. So you have to go into really detail to explain it, but only when she's able to comprehend what you're saying.
Wow.
Because if she's in a meltdown, she's not listening to you.
Wow.
But then the first time I came out here, I was quite lucky that I worked with aviation while I was in the army. So she was saying, why are the lights flashing on the ground, Dad? Why is that sign say that sign? Why is that noise making that noise? Why is the things moving on? The flaps. So she,
even ears pop in because it's in sensation. It doesn't happen.
Wow. Yeah. It's incredible. There's so much to think about. I don't know how you do it.
It's normal for us.
It's our normal. Yeah. But it is, honestly, I really do appreciate it. And like I said, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to make a comment, because if these guys are watching and can answer, they will. But if not, there definitely will be people on here and sort of that will be able to there. So usually this is a terrace talk, but obviously this video has been all about sort of disabilities, autism and stuff like this. Now I am going to put the video up because Neil has showed me around this beautiful villa. We're here at Villa Alondras and I tell you what, it's brilliant. But that video's on its way and Neil showed me around. So usually what we do is we do the villa tour, don't we? Then we have a little terrace talk all about holidays, but we've sort of changed it. This video or that video will be on the way. This one's all about disabilities, but we have had a look around the villa. So these guys do get the special Mr TravelON merchandise. Neil's over the moon on this. Let me get it, hang on, where is it? Right, so it's a good job. I've actually bought 4, so I bought ones for the girls as well.
Aww.
See, Mrs TravelON, she sent me out, you better make some more Mrs TravelON. So there you go, this is for showing me around the villa. It's also for telling me all about the autism and the disabilities and this chat we've had, but this is more for showing me around the villa. There you go. That is courtesy of Mr and Mrs TravelON. Get it open, let's have a look, come on. You have now got the official Mr TravelON.
Love it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
No worries at all.
Happy days.
There you go. Fabulous.
Brilliant.
If you show them at the airport, you'll get special assistance.
Do we really?
We need it.
Yeah. We met Mr TravelON, led us through to the VIP room.
When we come back in March, if I show you this, do we get discount?
Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%. But no, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. I really do appreciate it. We've been talking for nearly an hour.
No.
Yes.
Wow.
Can you believe it? But from me, Mr TravelON, we are going to have more videos all about disabilities, autism, anything else that you guys want to know about, because it's really useful information. Or if you've got people in your family or you've got information about this and you want to share it, we'll do another terrace talk or table talk with all sorts, and we'll just share all that information, and it's great for people to know and sort of look at each other's experiences and get tips and stuff like that.
Community to share things and ask questions where they feel safe that they can ask questions.
And maybe we should set up a little group about it.
I think that's a great idea.
Right, I'm going to do it. You can be head admin. Head
Yeah.
admin. Oh.
Like I've got nothing more to do.
Yeah, get on it. Yeah, like you know,
No,
you've
I'll
got
do
nothing
it.
to do. Come on.
Honestly, if people want to ask questions,
There you go.
shout.
It's not like you're busy.
I'm not like I'm busy.
But no, listen, thank you so much. Make sure to like, follow and subscribe. It's from goodbye from me and a goodbye from these 2 lovely people.